Kia ora koutou. My name is Fiona and this is Research in Community Informed Practice Assessment 2. This assignment is my own work. My inquiry is on maker movement and how constructionism can develop 21st century skills. To begin explaining my inquiry and the process that I will take, it is important to establish a clear context. I am a team leader in a Year 4 to 6 team at Ashgrove School in Rangiora. I work in a purpose-built 2-year-old innovative learning space with 177 students and 7 teachers. We are a BYOD school and we are well resourced with 1 to 3 technology from Year 4 to 8. My inquiry question is, how can maker movement theory and practice develop 21st century skills in a New Zealand innovative learning environment setting? I have defined 3 main terms from my inquiry question. Enabling e-learning TKI tells us that maker movement is a collaborative workshop where young people gain practical hands-on experience with new technologies and innovative processes to design and build projects. They provide flexible environments where learning can be made physical by applying science, technology, math, and creativity to solve problems and build things. The World Economic Forum, New Vision for Education 2017, say that 21st century skills are collaboration, knowledge construction, self-regulation, real-world problem-solving and innovation, the use of ICT for learning and skilled communication, and the Ministry of Education, New Zealand Ministry of Education, says that innovative learning environments is one that is capable of evolving and adapting as educational practices evolve and change, thus remaining future focused. For the purpose of this inquiry, I will be engaging with my communities, the first being the students in Rata Hub. In 2019, we will have 77 Year 4 to 6 students. I will select a focus group of 5 students that are in my own ngāhere as well. I will engage with my students in a number of ways to collect quantitative and qualitative data as evidence. I will first conduct a survey using Google Forms to all students in our hub to collect thoughts around 21st century skills in the makerspace after the first maker experience of the year. I will also observe students working in the makerspace. I will further interview students in my focus group on their opinions regarding the development of their 21st century skills while working in the makerspace. I will particularly be looking at 21st century skills of collaboration, knowledge construction, and real-world and problem-solving and innovation during the survey, observation, and interviews. The other communities I will be engaging with during this inquiry will be my colleagues and whānau, children's whānau. As we work in an open plan space, it will be important that my colleagues understand and support my inquiry so that they will be kept informed at team meetings and during professional discussions. I will keep our whānau updated through regular team newsletters and Seesaw to share our learning. And I will also inform and gain approval from the whānau of my focus students. My action plan for this inquiry will be first to meet with our Deputy Principal to inform her of my inquiry and to seek approval and support. I will then meet with the rest of my teaching team to inform them of the inquiry. We will work together to continue to create our Rata Makerspace and decide how we will use the resources and to timetable in times before the school year begins. I will also contact our ICT support person to make sure the correct apps have been loaded onto our iPads. I will need to survey the children and complete observations of the children working in the makerspace and interview my focus children in the first 2 to 3 weeks of school. I am planning on using squishy circuits activities for the students to work in the makerspace during the inquiry, with the end design challenge to be building a creature with light up eyes or other parts, using conductive and insulating dough. I will complete a second round of observations and interviews by week 5 of the term to collect more quantitative and qualitative data as evidence of the development of their 21st skills of collaboration, knowledge construction, and real-world problem solving and innovation. There's some questions I'm going to be asking through the survey. And the ethical issues that I will need to consider for my research, particularly during my observations and interviews, so that children do not experience harm, distress, and disadvantage or anxiety. I will explain my research to my students and whānau and also share my findings. I will make sure that my focus students feel that they can choose to participate in the interview or not, and choose times for the interview where they are not missing out on learning time. I will make sure that I am not intrusive during observations and will protect the identity of my students in the research. I will need to consider the integration of kaupapa Māori principles into my inquiry. It will be important to me to gather student voice from the students who are identified as Māori. It will be important for the space to reflect taonga tuku iho, both in ethos and appearance. It will be important for me to continue to gather student voice from these students who identify as Māori regularly on the effectiveness of the makerspace and the practices within. I believe that when students participate in the makerspace, they have agency to have meaningful control over their choices and the problems they wish to solve, using the design process that they will ideate and formulate their own plans, test their theories, and reflect on their successes and failures. Tino rangatiratanga and growth mindset are very important in the makerspace. As design process, we will expect to fail many times before we discover success. We will learn that struggle makes us strong, and we will know that when we feel ourselves sliding into the learning pit, we can expect the learning to start to happen. That's when the magic happens. The research I read made it very clear that community was very important when it came to makerspace. The opportunities for children to come together in an open shared space and talk and learn from one another, to bring our own knowledge and strengths, and to move from being a newcomer to being an expert in an area. This gives the children mana and control over their learning, which is vital to tino rangatiratanga. Another important kaupapa Māori aspect or principle is ako, a teaching and learning relationship, taking responsibility for their own learning and that of Māori learners. The research talked a lot about being the confidence, about the biggest learning being confidence and a sense of purpose. The key competencies will be developed through the makerspace community, and with it, knowledge will be grown in science, technologies, arts, engineering, and mathematics. The potential learning findings of my inquiry will hopefully be to lead makerspace being developed in other areas across the school. We have a school library that will be perfect for a makerspace, a school-wide makerspace, and I'm hoping through my research I will have a strong case and evidence to take to our BOT and to take to our senior management to back up the development of 21st century skills through time spent in the makerspace. I hope to use this information to develop a school-wide rubric and for self-assessment and a school design process. Thank you. Here's my references. And online contribution 1. Online contribution 2.